Okay, let's get started. Thank you for coming to our webinar. My name is Dave Chapman. I'm the sales director here at The Edge. My contact information is on the screen. If you ever want to call or email me, please feel free to do so. If you have questions after this webinar, feel free to reach out. We are going to be recording this and putting it up on our YouTube channel and on our website, so you'll be able to see any of these tricks if I go too fast and watch them at your own pace. So today I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks in the Edge version 12. We have customers from several different trades here, so I'm going to try to make it as trade generic as possible and just kind of go over some of the things that you may have forgotten, or if you learned the Edge on version 12, you may not have had the time to learn, or if you converted from older versions of the Edge to version 12, you may not have gotten to, or if we went over it at the beginning, you may have forgotten. So I'm going to jump right in and start off by bringing up the Edge. And the first thing I want to show you is our background image manager and some of the things you can do in there. While you're at the bid scenario sections or pages, thumbtacks or tags, as you want to call them, you'll see something here called Manage Images. When you click on this, this opens a separate window that you can move on to another screen, and this is your bid image manager. Out here, there's a lot of different things you can do on the side. You can overlay images. If you had a revised set of prints come out and you want to overlay a new print over an older print, you can do that. You can also crop out specific areas. If you wanted to create a separate page just for this one particular area, you can call it a cutout, and that becomes its own page that you can then use. Getting back to this main image, you can rotate and de-skew if you have a crooked image or if it comes in the wrong orientation. One of the other things that I've seen more and more people do lately is have people sign off that they've read each page, and you can modify or make changes to this print before you even load it into the drawing screen or the takeoff part of the Edge. To do that, you hit this Add Modify button, and you'll see some tools pop up over here where you can undo things, replicate things, create text boxes, highlight certain areas if you want to highlight something for someone to see. But what people have been doing is signing off on each page, and you just hit this little text button, and you can put your name and whatever you want else you want to put there, what day you put that there. When you hit enter, it'll show up there that you can see it's been marked. And to save any of these modifications you make to your print, you just hit commit, and it takes you, now this is a print you can load in to your drawing screen with the notes on there. You can do test measurements if you wanted to as well. If I hit Add Modify, we can do a measured line and just measure a certain area there. It'll tell you the distance. Just got to zoom in on that a little. All right, commit to keep that there. So that's just some of the things you can do on the bid image manager side of things. You can also create folders and organize your prints in different ways. Keep your eye out in the future for additional features that we'll be putting out here on the bid image manager. You'll see some major improvements coming out here. We'll tease that just that much. Next thing I'm going to do is close this or move this onto one of my other screens and go to our takeoff screen. So I want to show you some of the tips and tricks you can do out here. Okay, first of all, a lot of people that aren't in the fireproofing side of things don't know about this feature, but we call it replicate condition. So let's just say we're doing an exterior box header and you had a lot of windows that were the same length. You just need to draw it once and hit this little replicate button, and you'll see another copy of it, and you can just drop it down wherever you have additional windows. Okay, so that replicate condition is a cool tool. I don't think a lot of people know about that. Another cool tool is our convert to arc, and this is used in a length or in an area condition. I'll use this area as an example. If you go around the perimeter and then you come to a radius or an arc, you can hit the beginning of that arc, any point along that arc, and a third point, and you can either hit this convert to arc feature or just the letter K, and that picks your radius. You can do the same if you're doing a deduct as well. So say we wanted to deduct this circle in the middle here. We'll draw a half an arc, beginning point, middle point, third point, hit the letter K. Now this becomes our new first point, middle point, end point, hit the letter K, hit enter, and it deducts that area in an arc. Okay. Another feature that I wonder if people know about is the rectangle feature. Now in the Edge, you don't have to go around. If you have an odd shaped room like this, sure, you can come in and go around the perimeter and measure it this way. But if you have a lot of these type of rooms, you can hit this little rectangle feature. Just hit 2 points, 1, 2. It closes it out automatically for you. This can speed things up quite a bit. Okay. Another feature I think some people don't get the time to learn, but it's a very useful feature, I think, especially if you're doing phase work or something like that. It's called zones. In order to use zones, you have to click on the page name that you're working on, come down here and hit the create zone. Once we have this, you can come out here and draw a perimeter of a zone area. When you hit enter, it's going to ask you to name that zone. You can name it whatever you want, zone 1 or night work. Come over here and I'll hit a different zone. And enter. We'll call that zone 2. Nice. So what that gives us, if we come back to our actual estimate, when we come to our pages tab, you'll see this little plus sign next to that page. If I click on it, you'll see those 2 zones pop up. You've got zone 1, the cost, the man days for that zone, and zone 2. You can then take this, mark that particular zone, and go out to your reports and do a stocking report or a labor report, or even an accounting code report just for that particular zone. While I'm out here at the reports area here, and I'm just going to take a stocking report or a purchase report. This is another thing I think a lot of people may not know, but instead of just printing or saving this, any reports in the Edge that you can produce can be exported into a CSV, Word, PDF, or Excel format. So if you wanted to create a PDF of multiple pages, you could do of multiple reports, you can do that. If you want to build a Word report that you can save in your cloud somewhere for a job packet, you can do that. Okay, so that's just a couple of things I wanted to show you at the takeoff screen. That zones feature has a separate video on our YouTube channel if you want to learn how to use that, or you can just call your technical support people. Next thing I want to get into that a lot of people may or may not know, but it's a very useful feature, is our vendor quote option. This is done at the pricing screen where you want to get up-to-date pricing from a vendor or multiple vendors. You can just mark the items you need pricing for or hit this arrow at the top to get all of them. Then you hit, this will be at the vendor quote area. Sorry. Mark multiple items, hit vendor quotes, and it's going to send you give you the option. Oh, that's why it's not allowing me to do that. I need to be unmarked on that zone. Okay, good. So let's go back to pricing, mark everything, hit our vendor quotes option. And this is where you can choose which vendors you want to get pricing from, let them know what date you need these prices by, any extra notes that you want. Hit send, and this will send an email out to the suppliers that you've set up. If you need help setting up your suppliers in the Edge, let us know. It's very simple. Once they get their email, and they could answer this email and put their pricing in on their phone, on their tablet, on their email, but once they submit their pricing, you're going to get an alert up here in the upper right that says the vendors have submitted their prices. So if we click on that, it's going to bring up the prices that you got submitted from each supplier. I've got it from 2 separate suppliers here, and you can see what the total is for each supplier. And you can choose all of one supplier, or you can choose certain products from one supplier and certain products from another supplier. And if you want to, take the lowest price and choose lowest price and apply it. It automatically brings those prices into the bid for you. All right, so alleviate some of that manual entry that you have to do. You also have checks and balances with this. So if you hit your portal button, it takes you out to your portal, and you look at your database, you can come down here and look at all of your vendor quotes that you've received over the years, and you can see which vendors you've received these from. Okay, over here it's telling you the vendors that supplied them, and you click on them, you can see the prices that were supplied. So there are some checks and balances and follow-ups with that. Okay, next thing I want to show you while we're at the pricing screen is a feature that I think a lot of people don't know about, and this is called a adjust multiple line items. So say you have several different stud sizes and you don't want to type the price in multiple times. You can mark multiple line items. Come over here and hit adjust marked lines. You change the price, boom, and it marks all those items. The same thing can be done on the labor screen. Wait for that to catch up, and you want to change all of your hang labor or whatever to a certain production rate. You just hit that, hit adjust mark lines, put in what that production rate is going to be. Okay, comes in and changes it across the board. All right, so that adjust multiple lines is a really cool feature. The next feature I'm going to show you about, and I can promise you a lot of people do not know about this, is our room size labor or area labor, or smart labor, I should say. This is a little bit more towards the interior trades, but just show you it can be visualized in the smart labor way for other trades as well. But in the preferences for interior trades specifically, you can set up your different room sizes and what their square footage breakdowns are. Mostly this was used in our acoustical side, but tiny rooms up to 144 to 200, or small rooms and medium rooms, etc. Once you have those set up, if you want to, this feature is pretty cool where you can have it tell you the square footage of each size room. You'll see total square footage of huge rooms, large rooms, and medium rooms. And you can change your production rate based on the room size. Obviously, dropping tile into an extremely large room is going to go a lot quicker than it would in a small or medium-sized room. So if you need help on how to set that up, please give us a call. There's also a video on the web on our YouTube channel and at our knowledge base on our website on how to use that. Okay, one of the last things I want to show you is back in the cloud. So we're going to hit this administrative portal button, take us back out to our portal. This is where you can look at your jobs that you've done, if they've been checked back in. You can also activate things like our foundation, our parent company's accounting export. If you have the Edge on site, the production management app that coincides with the Edge, you can activate that job for Edge on site right here. Some of the other cool things you can do out here, besides look at your vendor quotes, and this is also where you'd set up and add your different vendors, but you can also come to your dashboard, take a look at some of your bid activity. If you want to track how many bids are being done each month, if you change your bids from closed won to newly added to lost, you can also track the amount of dollars you have out there in bids. And if you take any of these bids that have been done in the past and that have been checked back into the cloud, you can also view reports out here. This comes in handy if you're not in the office and you don't have a computer. You can do this with your phone. As long as you have a device with a browser on it, you just log in with your username and a password to admin.edgeestimator.com, and you can come in and view any reports for this job. Okay. Very cool feature. The cloud allows us to do so much more. We can also now set up your different users. Hopefully most people know how to do this, but when you set up your users, you can set up what that user's role is within the Edge. You can set up accounting people with a username and a password so they can come out here to the portal and do your exporting of your jobs. You can limit certain people from what they can do within the program. We call this the roles manager. And I can set up a role where they have a junior estimator in there that can add or modify a bid, but they can't delete any bids. just protecting your data. Send to database. This is if you want them to be able to adjust standard pricing or production rates in the database, you might want to lock them out from doing that. Also, stuff being done right within the database may want to prevent them from modifying or deleting any of your default built assemblies. So a lot of cool things. We have a few videos on our YouTube channel. If you've never been, just go out to YouTube, search the Estimating Edge, and you'll see within here you can search within that YouTube channel for any videos on a particular feature. Okay, that is about all I have for time. This again was just a quick little overview of some of the things that you might need to know or didn't know and might need to relearn. If you want to call us or if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call right here. We'll be making this video available online so that if you want to review any of those features again, just replay the webinar and we'll be all set. Otherwise, thank you for attending. If we don't talk, I hope you have a strong finish to the year and we look forward to working with you in 2024. Thank you very much. Have a great day.